Chapter 1. I was always the one waiting. I used to believe love meant patience. That was the excuse I gave myself every time I stood alone, staring at my phone, telling myself she would come. 10 more minutes, Lena always said. 10 minutes turned into an hour. An hour turned into silence. That night, I was waiting outside the cafe again. The lights inside were warm, golden, and full of laughter that didn't include me. I checked my phone for the 6th time. Nothing. I typed, "Are you close?" Deleted it. Typed again, "It's okay if you're busy." Deleted that too. Jason's voice echoed in my head. "You're always the one waiting, man." I shook my head and told myself he didn't understand. Lena and I had been together for 3 years. 3 years of late replies, canceled plans, and me telling myself love was supposed to be flexible. She worked hard. She was ambitious. I was supposed to be proud, not needy. That's what she told me. Anyway, my phone buzzed. "Lena. Sorry, something came up. Can we do this another day?" I stared at the message. My fingers went numb. Another day. Always another day. I called her. She didn't pick up. I called again. She answered on the 3rd ring. "Hey, what's wrong?" "What's wrong?" I laughed softly. "I've been waiting here for an hour. I told you I was busy. You said you'd try." There was a pause. I could hear voices in the background. Laughter. A man's voice. "Where are you?" I asked. "At work," she said too fast. "Listen, can we talk later? Mark needs help with something." There it was. That name again. Mark. I repeated. "The same Mark who always needs help?" "Don't start," she snapped. "He's just a coworker." I swallowed. "Then why do you sound happy?" Silence. "I have to go," she said. "We'll talk later." The call ended. I lowered my phone and looked around. Couples passed by, hands brushing, laughing about nothing. I felt invisible standing there, like I didn't belong in a world where people were chosen without hesitation. Jason called me then. "She didn't come, did she?" he asked. "No," he sighed. "You want me to come get you?" "I'm fine," I lied. "You always say that." I am," I insisted. "She's just busy." "Busy for you," he said. "Not for him." I didn't answer. I started walking, the cold biting through my jacket. My thoughts wouldn't stop. Every canceled dinner. Every missed birthday. Every time she said, "You're overthinking." Maybe I was. But if I mattered, wouldn't she try harder? When I got home, my phone lit up again. A photo notification. Lena had posted a story. She was smiling. Bright, relaxed. Mark stood next to her, holding 2 drinks. The caption read, "Late nights but worth it." My chest tightened. I threw my phone onto the couch like it had burned me. I paced the room, rubbing my face. "She said she was busy," I muttered. "She said she didn't have time." My phone buzzed again. "Lena, why didn't you reply?" I stared at the message, anger and sadness twisting together. "Me, you said you were busy." Dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. "Lena, why are you making this a problem?" I laughed bitterly. "Because it is one," I whispered to the empty room. I typed slowly. "Me, I was waiting for you." Her reply came after a long pause. "Lena, you didn't have to." That sentence hurt more than anything else she'd ever said. I sank onto the couch, staring at the ceiling. I thought about all the times I had rearranged my life around her schedule. All the times I told myself love meant understanding. Maybe love wasn't supposed to feel like this. Jason texted me again. "Jason, you deserve better than waiting." I didn't reply, but his words stayed with me. That night, lying in bed, I realized something terrifying. I couldn't remember the last time Lena waited for me. And for the first time, I wondered what would happen if I stopped waiting at all. Chapter 2. I wasn't jealous, I was replaced. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Lena's smile in that photo. Not the polite smile she gave me lately, but the easy one. The one that used to be mine. In the morning, my phone buzzed. "Lena, you're being weird. Can we talk?" I stared at the message while brushing my teeth. My reflection looked tired. Older. "Me talk about what?" "Lena, About you acting distant. I laughed under my breath. Distant. That was rich. We met that afternoon at her apartment. I stood outside her door for a full minute before knocking. Old habits die hard. Waiting even now. She opened the door wearing the sweater I bought her last winter. "Why are you looking at me like that?" she asked. "Like what?" "Like I hurt you." I stepped inside. "Didn't you?" She crossed her arms. "I didn't do anything wrong." There it was. The sentence she always used. I took a breath. "Lena, you said you didn't have time. Then you went out with him." She rolled her eyes. "Mark is my assistant. We had drinks after work." "You're overreacting." "Then why didn't you tell me the truth?" "Because I knew you'd be jealous," she said quickly. Jealous. That word hit me hard. "I wasn't jealous," I said. "I was waiting." She scoffed. "That's the same thing." "No," I said quietly. "It's not." She turned away, pretending to fix something on the table. "You've changed lately." I stared at her back. "How?" "You're always sensitive. Always asking where I am, who I'm with." "I ask because you disappear." She sighed loudly. "I can't keep explaining myself to you." I clenched my fists. "Then stop giving me reasons to ask." She turned, eyes sharp. "You don't trust me." "I trusted you for 3 years," I said. "I trusted you every time you canceled. Every time you chose work over me." "That's not fair." "What's fair?" I snapped. "Being told I don't matter enough for your time?" Her face softened for a second. "That's not what I meant." "Then what did you mean when you said I didn't have to wait?" She went quiet. "I didn't ask to be your backup," I continued. "I asked to be your partner." She shook her head. "You're making this dramatic." "Because it is dramatic," I said. "It hurts." She walked past me and grabbed her bag. "I can't do this right now. I'm late." "Late for who?" I asked. She froze. "For Mark." I pushed. She didn't answer. That silence told me everything. I stepped aside so she could leave. As she passed, she said, "You really need to work on your insecurity." The door closed behind her. I stood there, staring at the empty space where she had been. My chest felt hollow. Jason called me minutes later. "Well?" he asked. "She says I'm jealous." He laughed bitterly. "Of course she does. She says Mark is just an assistant." "And you believe that?" I hesitated. "I want to." "That's not the same thing," he said. I sat down on her couch, my head in my hands. "What if I really am the problem?" Jason was quiet for a moment. "Let me ask you something. When was the last time she chose you first?" I searched my memory. I found nothing. That night, Lena didn't text me, didn't call. Her social media filled the silence instead. Another story, another laugh, another moment I wasn't part of. People commented hearts, fire emojis. Someone wrote, "You two look great together." I stared at the screen until my eyes burned. I typed a message. "Me, are you with him again?" The reply came fast. "Lena, why does it matter?" My hands trembled. "Me, because I'm still your boyfriend." 3 dots appeared, then vanished. Minutes passed. "Lena, you're making things exhausting." That was the moment something inside me cracked. I set my phone down and stood up. I walked around the apartment, noticing things I had ignored before. Extra shoes by the door. A jacket that wasn't mine. 2 toothbrushes in the bathroom drawer. But one of them wasn't the one I used. I felt stupid. Not for trusting her. For ignoring the signs. When she came home later that night, I was sitting in the dark. "You scared me," she said, flipping on the light. "Why are you here?" "I wanted to talk," I said. She dropped her bag. "Can it wait?" "I'm tired." I looked at her. Really looked. "I think you already made your choice," I said. She frowned. "What choice?" "Me," I said. "Or him?" She didn't answer right away. That pause felt longer than any words. "Why are you putting me in this position?" she asked finally. "Because I'm already losing," I said. "I just want to know to who." She looked away, and in that moment I understood. I wasn't jealous. I was being replaced. Chapter 3: The Night I Chose Silence. Lena didn't answer my question. She stood by the door, keys still in her hand, eyes fixed on the floor like the answer might be hiding there. "I'm tired," she said again. "Can we not do this tonight?" I nodded slowly. "That's been your answer for months." She sighed. "You're twisting things." "No," I said. "I'm finally seeing them straight." She looked up, annoyed now. "So what, you think I'm cheating?" I met her eyes. "I think you stopped choosing me." "That's not the same thing." "It feels worse," I said. She laughed, sharp and short. "You're unbelievable." I stood up. "I waited for you tonight." She shrugged. "I didn't ask you to." Those words landed hard. I grabbed my jacket. "You're right. You didn't." She followed me a step. "Where are you going?" I paused at the door. "Home." She hesitated. "You're really leaving over this?" I turned. "I'm leaving because staying makes me feel invisible." Her face changed, just for a second. Something like fear. Then it was gone. "Don't be dramatic," she said. "Text me when you calm down." I opened the door. "You always say that." "I'm always the one who has to calm down." The hallway felt colder than usual. I didn't look back. Outside, the city lights blurred as I walked. My phone buzzed. I didn't check it. I didn't want hope dressed up as apology. Jason called instead. "Did you talk to her?" he asked. "Yes." "And?" She didn't deny anything. That was enough for him. "Come over." I went to his place and sat on his couch while he poured drinks. "She's keeping you on a leash," he said. "Just loose enough so you don't leave." I stared at the glass. "What if I walk away and regret it?" He leaned forward. "What if you stay and lose yourself?" That shut me up. When I got home later, my phone was full of messages. "Lena, you really walked out." "Lena, I didn't mean it like that." "Lena, you're being unfair." I typed, deleted, typed again. Then I locked my phone and set it face down. For the first time, I didn't chase the conversation. The next day, she didn't come over. She didn't call. Her silence felt louder than any argument. That evening, I saw another post. Lena at a rooftop bar. City skyline. 2 glasses on the table. Someone tagged Mark. My chest tightened, but something else happened too. I didn't cry. I didn't text. I just felt tired. Not angry. Not jealous. Done. I opened my laptop and booked a trip. Somewhere far. Somewhere quiet. I didn't even think it through. My phone buzzed again. "Lena, why aren't you replying?" I stared at the message for a long time. Then I typed one sentence. "Me, because I'm done fighting for a place you already gave away." She didn't respond. That night, I packed a bag. And for the first time in a long while, the silence felt like peace. Chapter 4: The Distance Between Us. I left before sunrise. The city was quiet, like it was holding its breath. I dragged my suitcase down the stairs and didn't feel the usual knot of guilt in my chest. No note on the table. No last look around. I didn't want to remember the version of myself who kept waiting. At the airport, my phone buzzed again. "Lena, you really booked a trip?" I stared at the message while standing in line for coffee. I imagined her face. Confused, annoyed, maybe a little scared. She wasn't used to me making moves without telling her first. "Me, I told you I needed space." A minute passed. Then 2. Then 5. She finally replied. "Lena, you're punishing me." I almost laughed. I typed back slowly. "I'm choosing myself." I boarded the plane with my phone on airplane mode. That felt symbolic, even if it was accidental. When we took off, the city shrank beneath the clouds. I watched it disappear and felt something loosen inside me. Not happiness, just relief. The place I landed was small and quiet. No rush, no noise, just a rented room near the water and too much time to think. That scared me more than the distance. Jason called that night. "So?" he asked. "How does it feel to run?" "I'm not running," I said. "I'm breathing." He chuckled. "Any messages?" I checked. 12 missed notifications. All Lena. "I haven't opened them," I said. "Good," he replied. "Let her feel it." I hung up and sat on the balcony, listening to waves hit the shore. My thoughts kept drifting back to Lena. Not the woman she was now, but the girl who once waited for me after class, who laughed too loud, who said she felt safe with me. I wondered when that changed. The next morning, curiosity got the better of me. I opened her messages. Lena, this isn't fair. Lena, I didn't do anything wrong. Lena, Mark is just a friend. Lena, why are you acting like this? I closed the app. Not one message asking how I felt. Not one apology. Just defense. Later that day, I ran into someone unexpected at a cafe near the beach. "Wait, is that you?" a woman said. I looked up. "Nina," she smiled. "I can't believe it. It's been years." Nina had been a friend from college. Quiet, observant, the kind of person who listened more than she spoke. "What are you doing here?" she asked. "Running away," I said honestly. She laughed softly. "Same. Sit with me." We talked for hours. No tension. No walking on eggshells. She didn't check her phone every 2 minutes. She looked at me when I spoke. At one point, she said, "You look lighter, but also sad." "That obvious?" "Only to someone who knows the weight you used to carry," she said. That night, Lena called. I let it ring. Then she texted. "Lena, I saw you unfollowed me." I stared at the screen. Me, I needed to stop watching you choose someone else. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. That was when I knew something had shifted. Not just between us, but inside me. I wasn't chasing closure anymore. I was creating distance. And for the first time, it felt like the beginning of something new. Chapter 5: What Silence Reveals. The days started to blur together. I woke up early, walked along the shore, and let the cold water numb my ankles. I ate when I was hungry, slept when I was tired, and didn't explain myself to anyone. That alone felt strange. Like I had been carrying a backpack I didn't know I was allowed to set down. Nina became part of my routine without forcing it. We met for coffee again, then dinner, then long walks where the silence didn't feel awkward. She never asked why I left Lena. She never pushed. She just listened when I spoke and stayed quiet when I didn't. One afternoon, while we sat on a bench facing the sea, she said, "You're not broken. You're just exhausted." That hit harder than any accusation. That night, Lena finally crossed a line. She posted a photo. Her and Mark, laughing, too close. His hand on her waist like it had always belonged there. The caption read, "Finally making time for what matters." My phone buzzed nonstop. Jason called first. "You see it?" he asked. "I saw it," I said. "Man, that's cold." I didn't respond. I just stared at the screen until my chest stopped tightening. Then Lena messaged me. "Lena, I'm not doing this to hurt you." I laughed out loud, alone in my room. "Me, you're doing it because you don't think about me at all." There was no reply. For the first time, I didn't wait for one. The next day, Nina noticed something was off. "Bad news?" she asked gently. "Closure," I said. "The kind you don't ask for." She nodded. "Those hurt the most." Later that evening, I ran into Mark by accident or maybe not. I was grabbing food near the pier when I heard my name. "Hey," he said, awkward. "Didn't expect to see you here." I looked at him calmly. No anger. No shaking hands. That surprised me. "You got what you wanted," I said. "Why are you here?" He swallowed. "Lena's not okay. She keeps saying you've changed." I almost smiled. "She changed first," I replied. "I just stopped pretending." He hesitated. "She didn't think you'd actually leave." "That's the problem," I said. "She never thought I could." I walked past him without another word. That night, Lena called again. I answered this time. "You embarrassed me," she said, voice sharp. "People are asking questions." I stayed quiet. "Well," she snapped, "I didn't leave to teach you a lesson," I said calmly. "I left because I was disappearing." Her voice cracked. "So that's it?" "Yes," I said. "That's it." I hung up before she could respond. I didn't feel victorious. I felt free. Later, Nina knocked on my door with takeout. "You okay?" she asked. I took a deep breath. "I think I finally am." She smiled, soft and real. "Good. You deserve peace." As I lay in bed that night, staring at the ceiling, I realized something painful and beautiful at the same time. Silence didn't mean I was alone. It meant I had finally stopped begging to be heard. Chapter 6: When Regret Comes Knocking. The first time Lena showed up, I didn't open the door. I was halfway through making coffee when my phone buzzed. Nina was sitting on the couch, flipping through a book she hadn't really been reading. "She's outside," Nina said quietly, without looking up. My chest tightened. "How do you know?" "She texted me," Nina replied. "She asked if you were here." I walked to the window and peeked through the curtain. Lena stood on the sidewalk, arms crossed, hair pulled back like she meant business. But her eyes kept darting to the door like she was afraid it wouldn't open. "I didn't tell her where I live," I said. Nina closed the book. People who regret things tend to find answers fast. I didn't move. After 10 minutes, Lena left. I thought that would be the end of it. I was wrong. The messages started that night. "Lena, can we talk? Just once." I didn't reply. "Lena, you owe me at least a conversation." That line almost made me answer. Almost. The next morning, Jason called. "She's spiraling," he said. "Crying at work. Fighting with Mark. Keeps saying she made a mistake." I stared at the sea through the cafe window. "That's not my emergency anymore." Jason sighed. "I know. Just wanted you to hear it from me." Later that day, I ran into Lena again. This time where I couldn't avoid her. I was leaving the market when she stepped right in front of me. "You look different," she said. "So do you," I replied. She laughed nervously. "You're calm. That scares me." "Good," I said. "It means I healed." Her smile faded. "I didn't think you'd replace me so fast." I shook my head. "I didn't replace you. I replaced the version of me that begged, that hit her harder than yelling ever could." "Mark was a mistake," she blurted out. "I was lonely. You were always busy with your plans." I took a breath. "I was building a future. You were shopping for attention." Her eyes filled with tears. "I want us back." I looked at her, really looked. The woman I loved was still there, but so was the one who chose someone else when things got dull. "I don't," I said. Silence fell between us. "You don't even miss me?" she whispered. "I miss who I thought you were," I answered. "Not who you became." She stepped back like I'd pushed her. That night, Nina and I sat on the balcony, sharing noodles from the same box. "She tried," I said. Nina nodded. "Too late." "Too late," I confirmed. Nina looked at me carefully. "Are you sure you're done?" I thought about the nights I waited, the excuses, the way I shrank myself to fit her schedule. "I'm done choosing people who only see my value when I walk away." She smiled. "That's growth." As the city lights flickered below, I realized regret always comes late. And by the time it arrives, the door it's knocking on is usually already closed. Chapter 7: The Life She Couldn't Follow. 2 weeks later, my phone rang with a number I didn't recognize. I almost ignored it. "Hello," I said. "It's Mark." I closed my eyes. "You've got 10 seconds. He swallowed. I could hear it. "I didn't know she was still hung up on you." "That's not my problem." "She cries every night," he rushed on. "She compares herself to Nina. She says you became someone she can't reach anymore." I laughed, but there was no humor in it. "You wanted her. You got her." "She doesn't look at me the same," he said. "She talks about you like you were the mistake she can't undo." I leaned against the wall. "Then stop calling me. You're both living with choices you made." He hung up without another word. That night, Nina dragged me to a small rooftop party. Soft music, warm lights, people laughing like life wasn't heavy. "You need to be seen," she said, "not hidden." I watched her move through the crowd with ease, confident without trying. "You're different," I told her. She smiled. "I don't compete with ghosts." Later, as the city breathed around us, she asked, Do you ever wonder what would have happened if Lena chose you that day? I shook my head. If she had, I wouldn't be here. She took my hand. Then I'm glad she didn't. A few days later, Jason sent me a message. Lena quit her job. I stared at the screen. She said the office reminded her of everything she lost. Jason added. I set the phone down and went for a long walk. The streets felt lighter now, like they were finally moving at my pace. That evening, Nina cooked for me. We talked about future trips, maybe starting something together. Slowly, carefully. I don't rush, she said. I choose. I nodded. So do I. As we sat in comfortable silence, I realized something painful and freeing. Lena loved the version of me who waited. Nina loved the version of me who walked forward. And only one of those lives was worth living. Chapter 8. I never turned back. The morning I left the city for good. The sky was clear. No rain. No drama. Just quiet. I stood at the airport gate with a single suitcase. Everything I owned now fit inside it. That felt right. I wasn't running anymore, I was choosing where to go next. My phone buzzed. A message from Lena. Can we talk one last time? I know I don't deserve it, but I need closure. I stared at the screen for a long time. I thought about the nights I waited for her calls. The excuses. The times she said, I'm busy, while making time for someone else. The way I slowly learned to make myself smaller just to stay. I typed back one sentence. I already got my closure when I walked away. Then I turned the phone off. On the plane, Nina sat beside me, reading. She looked up and smiled when she felt my gaze. Nervous? She asked. Not anymore, I said honestly. She closed the book. Wherever this goes, we go slow. I nodded. That's all I want. As the plane lifted, the city shrank beneath us. Somewhere down there, Lena was living with regret, replaying choices she couldn't undo. But for the first time, that wasn't my weight to carry. I wasn't angry. I wasn't sad. I was free. I learned something I wish I'd known earlier. Love isn't proven by how long you wait. It's proven by who shows up when it matters. She chose him, so I chose myself. And this time I never turned back.